Welcome back to HM and Big E, featuring our guest panelist Rob. As usual, today we are doing our summer roundup of 2022. A few months have already gone by, and we've watched a lot of content.
That's right.
And there's some really good ones that we want to recommend. I think all the ones that we're talking about were good, and we want to recommend them.
Yep.
And so we'll just kind of give a quick overview and a quick why we recommend it. Let's kick off with the two of you with a show that you guys have been telling me is amazing.
It is amazing. A very underrated show, I think, that most people don't know about. And it's called
For All Mankind on Apple TV.
On Apple TV, For All Mankind. Okay, featured starring
Joel Kinnaman
and
a bunch of other people.
And some other people. Okay, what's the basic premise?
It's an alternate history show that starts in the late 60s. And the question they pose is, what if the Russians won the space war or the moon
race to
the moon?
Okay.
And everything kicks off from that point. That's alternate history. Okay. And they go through. Now it's 3 seasons. The last season was just this summer. That's why we want to talk about it. Yeah. Rob, what do you like?
Well, what I like about this is you told me to go into this cold. I had no idea what the premise was. And as soon as, I watched that first episode, I mean, spoilers, like seeing that the Russians made it to the moon first, I was invested.
Okay.
And I was shocked. Now, a lot of things they do in this show is sort of like still with history, with alternates to the history.
Mirror dimension stuff.
Yeah, which is kind of confusing because I actually watched this with my daughter, who's 12 years old, and she started to ask me questions. Oh, what happened to John F. Kennedy?
Right.
Or, what happened to Richard Nixon? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, the movie kind of like tries to be true. Yeah. Or sorry, the show tries to be true to the current or the historical events, but then it also like changes up a few things.
Right.
I mean, one of the things they did was John Lennon survives.
Okay.
Right, and what is the social impact? And
interesting.
And I really enjoy the social commentary. If everyone focused on space exploration, how would things pan out? Right. So that's what I found very interesting.
The 3 seasons build up really nice. First season's about the moon. Second season's about colonizing the moon. Third season's about the race to Mars.
Oh, okay.
And so what you notice is there's time jumps between each season, but they're big. They're 10 to 15 years, and the all the actors they got to age, and all the technology around them ages, and all whatever they drive, their homes have to age, and they're in different homes. So it's a really fantastic series. I think definitely Ronald Moore he's part of the creative team behind it, so that it's going to be strong writing. The production is really good.
Yeah.
It looks clean, it looks really nice, right? Like when they're in space, it looks really
and
nice.
Acting is good.
The acting is really good.
I don't know if I've seen Joel Kinnaman be really good in anything, but I don't watch too much. No, I'm not. I don't watch a lot of stuff.
He is a bit stiff in general.
Okay,
but he plays his role quite well, and I think every other ensemble, this is an ensemble cast. I think they do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's For All Mankind on Apple TV.
Best show on TV, I'm going to say right now.
Best show on TV. It only goes downhill from here. Okay.
Want to give a rating?
What's your overall rating?
It's going to get an A for sure, if not an A+.
Okay. I mean, best show on TV would be an A+.
Okay, I don't know, Rob. It's 3 seasons.
I give it an A.
Okay, excellent. All right, so that's our first show. Our second show that we're recommending, all 3 of us did watch this, and we all went in kind of with different expectations and different histories, but it's season 3 of the Orville, another season 3 of the Orville. You and I had watched season 1 and 2.
Rob
I forgot most of it when we kind of went in.
We reviewed a little bit of this on the channel.
The first episode.
So you can check out that review. But obviously the big thing is it's such a drastic change from season 1 to 3. It's like it's a new show, and they even have a little title called New Horizons. I thought, they're just throwing that in, but honestly, this was very good science fiction. Probably the best Trek on TV, if I can say it that way.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was a little skeptical. I watched the first season, and that was it. Like, I found a lot of the jokes cringy.
Yep.
It didn't draw me in. But then watching season 3, it actually made me want to go back to season 2 just to find out what it was like. And this is, my favorite Trek-based science fiction show.
Yeah, after season 3 ended, I actually went back and I watched season 1 and 2, and oh man,
those
hard. Jokes are very forced. And my theory about this is that Seth MacFarlane has always been a big fan of Star Trek, and he wanted to do a Star Trek show. And I don't know whether he knew that he could only sell it if it was like, oh, can I do a Star Trek show but with Family Guy?
Right,
you
like
know,
a
Star
parody.
Trek Family Guy thing and a parody. Whereas he had to sell it that way, or whether the maybe the studio was like, oh no, we don't want you just doing a sci-fi. Like, can you throw in some of that your humor?
Yeah.
And then so I don't know. Maybe season 1 and 2 was kind of like that, but maybe I feel season 3 is kind of his heart is truly kind of showing where what he wants to make.
Well, if you notice, also Seth MacFarlane almost, even though he's a captain, he pulls back.
Yeah.
And the other crew actually shines the most. So I don't know if that's his decision or the producers wanted that. But I mean, this thing has good writing, good graphics, good story, good social commentary.
The callbacks to earlier seasons.
Yeah.
Like each episode is fairly standalone, but when I went back to watch season 1 and 2, I was like, oh, this was the thing with this, and even like the Gordon's phone, like I forgot that was a thing, and I thought it was just, but they introduced it well enough in season 3 that you don't have to have watched season 1 and 2, but if you do, it adds a lot more depth.
It's a great show.
There are some excellent Star Trek just feels to it.
Mm-hmm.
After Strange New Worlds came out, I was skeptical that this would, because that was pretty good Trek, but I actually I would say this was better. This is the best Trek. I would agree with that. Overall grade on Orville season 3.
I give it an A as well.
A.
I give it an A+. I think it's excellent. When I first watched the first episode, even in my review, I was like, it seemed a bit long and draggy. But actually, once I got into it, it's very, very enjoyable. I can see myself going back to watch it. Some of those, especially certain episodes.
Sure.
Okay. The next one is a recommendation from me. I have just been finished watching season 1 with my wife, and I'm going through season 2 right now. Also on Disney Plus, the show is called Only Murders in the Building. It is starring Steve Martin,
Yes.
Martin Short, and Selena Gomez as a trio of the main things, a main character of the main story, and they are podcasters investigating a murder that happened in the building.
It's a one murder per season, or?
Well, so this is what I mean. I was very skeptical after finishing season 1 because like season 1 worked very well as a murder mystery and kind of like, you know, oh, something happened and it feels a lot more organic, and it's like, oh, is it going to be really forced to every season there just happens to be another murder in the building that they have to solve, and
right.
like it seem too contrived. And now that I'm in the middle of season 2, some of those skepticism has gone away. I don't know how they're going to resolve it. I don't expect them to be able to resolve second season as well as first season. But it was a very enjoyable show. Obviously, Steve Martin and Martin Short are, you know, comedic legends.
Yeah.
And Selena Gomez, a good actress, singer, entertainer.
Interesting choice on her part.
Yes, she's an executive producer on the show. So yeah, good for her. And it's a really good show if you like kind of murder mystery, if you kind of like comedy. It's kind of, I would say those are the two main kind of categories it straddles. And the main kind of hook or the main premise is a murder happens in their building and they start a podcast about it. They start a true crime podcast.
Okay.
Because so these true crime podcasts are so popular, right? Serial and different things like that. And so it kind of parodies that a little bit. So Only Murders in the Building. It just finished season 2 this summer as well. And so I'm nearly through season 2, but season 1 I highly recommend. Season 2 I don't know yet.
What grade would you give it?
I would give it B+.
Okay.
Season 1, B+. Like it's pretty good.
A B+ for a season 1 usually pretty good.
Yeah,
because you want to go higher. Right?
Yeah. It starts off. It kind of finds its footing really, really early.
Yeah.
And it knows what it's trying to do. It kind of the tone that it wants to do.
Great.
So, yep, good show. All right. Next one is another show that we have all three seen. Season 3 again. There's a lot of these season 3s. Season 3 of The Boys. What do you guys got to say about The Boys?
It continues to execute a good story and good characters and adding new stuff into it. I think it still keeps me pretty entertained. I mean, at season 3 of some of these shows, you start feeling some of the drag, but this one, they have enough that keeps you occupied, enough twists and turns that you're kind of looking forward to it.
For me, I think I was very excited, but I felt there were certain parts that kind of dragged in the show. I mean, like, you know, I mean, sure, they actually went, I think they went a little further in terms of, like, you know, being violent as well as
every season.
Yeah, they definitely took it to another level, which to me didn't really add anything. Like I felt like it wasn't necessary. Right?
Okay.
But I mean, I still enjoyed the show. I thought the overall plot was I could follow it, but there were certain parts of the season that kind of dragged for me.
I mean, obviously it's based on the graphic novel run, which I think was a pretty sizable run. Like, there's a lot of content still for them to do. I kind of feel the same as you. I enjoyed it a lot. I was looking forward to it coming out and watching it, and that's always a good sign because certain shows that are out now, maybe we're less inclined to do that. But so I remember being like, oh, it's coming out. I'm looking forward to watching it and watching it. Towards the end, I did feel kind of it was spinning its wheels a little bit. Just kind of like, oh, these are your normal players who are against each other. Now we're just going to switch them, and then now we're going to switch them again, and just kind of shuffling them all around just to kind of see kind of what works. And it felt like a little bit of spinning its wheels a little bit. I know they have another season coming and more seasons.
They're filming right now in Toronto.
Amazon, throws lots of money at this kind of stuff. So we'll see, if it's able to kind of continue kind of its momentum.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking, how many more seasons could you go with the primary villain being who he is?
Yeah.
And, these little subplots. I don't know. I mean, and also the shock factor is pretty much gone.
Yes. Yeah. That was a main thing.
Right. The first two seasons, a lot of that stuff. And now you're not as shocked.
Yeah. Still a good show.
Still a good
Let's
show.
see where it goes.
Yeah.
Overall grade for The Boys Season 3?
For me, I'll give it a B.
Yeah, I would give it a B.
That's pretty, unanimous B here. Like, good.
Yeah.
Maybe showing signs of cracking. Actually, it's interesting that we talk about Orville Season 3. Obviously, they, I think, are still, as of recording, uncertain about whether they will get a Season 4. Would you want them to continue?
100%.
I know. I think so, but I know what your argument is going to be.
Yes. My argument is always like, these shows, like, I don't know if it's just kind of Western media, and like these shows just keep going until they die a slow, painful death.
I think the reason I would argue with Rob, though, is because seasons 1 and 2 were so bad.
I know, that you probably want some of this kind of... But wouldn't it be better if, like, they kind of, not necessarily spun off the show, but, I mean, they've now created the universe of the Planetary Union and that kind of stuff and all the different alien races. Let's follow another ship, right? Do the Star Trek thing and just... Okay, now we're it's a completely different series, but set in the same universe.
I actually would even argue further that they just get rid of
Seth MacFarlane
as a captain. Promote.
I think he's okay.
He's okay, but he's not really useful. Just keep him as a producer, and the crew's fine. I like the crew. I like all the interactions in the crew. That's pretty funny. There's friendship there.
Like, I felt season 3 ended like really well. Like, it tied because they didn't know whether they were going to get renewed. Yeah. And so when you kind of know when shows do that, and so they actually put the kind of super tense, action episode. It's the penultimate episode, and the final episode was just kind of an emotional tying up of everything. I really liked that, and so I almost want series to end on a high note. Where they've wrapped everything up. Unlike Firefly, which ended on a high note, but nothing was wrapped up. Right? Yeah. This was wrapped up and kind of high note, and maybe it's a good place to end it. But if there's a season 4, I'll definitely watch it too. Anyway, sorry.
Do we want to still do this one or do a separate review on this one? You want to do it?
No, you have enough to do a full review on that one?
Well, I mean, it's my first Korean drama. Fine, we'll do it now as a quick thing.
Okay, so... Our dear friend Ho Ming here watched his very first Korean drama. Okay, I'll make sure to put title cards so that people who are only interested in this can skip right to it. All right. Well, what did you watch?
Extraordinary Attorney Woo, and I watched it on
Extraordinary Attorney Woo on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Netflix has so many K-dramas.
So many. Yeah. It's almost hard to
how did you pick this one?
Well, a good friend recommended it to me.
Excellent.
And because I had COVID, I had nothing else to do. So I was watching at a cottage, and my brother-in-law was watching with me, and actually a bunch of people started watching it because I just turned it on.
Okay.
I was like, let's watch the first episode, and I kind of got hooked.
Basic premise?
Is about a lawyer who has autism.
Okay.
So, but because...
And kind of her struggles...
Yes, but also, her struggles to fit in a prestigious law firm, but also because she has this, she sees things a different way,
right.
And she solves either crimes or helps with cases, right? Okay. So every episode is a different case, and she's presented with it, and she kind of goes around with a team, and they investigate, they solve, and they argue in a courtroom. And I think the main actress, again, apologies for her name. I don't know the name. I mean, it's Park something.
Ooh, okay.
She's great. She's great.
Okay.
She's fantastic in it, and
Yeah.
she does a great job. I think she did a lot of research on how to play someone with autism,
Mm.
and I think apparently in Korea, because it's not talked about a lot, this show kind of broke some boundaries there.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good show. It's only 10 episodes long, which I think is nice, and
Mm-hmm.
about an hour and a little bit each episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overall grade for Extraordinary Attorney Woo.
I'm gonna give Extraordinary Tuner Win A minus.
Okay.
It's a very strong.
Oh.
Yeah, not bad. Okay. Now I'm watching other Korean dramas, and I'll review them later.
And that breaks the trend of us going down with our
Oh,
ratings.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens with the next one. Speaking of a person who's able to see things differently and achieve things differently, our next thing that I don't know if are we recommending this, is the movie Prey that came out.
Pray.
No, Prey, the opposite, or the object of a predator, Prey.
Okay.
The, fifth or sixth entry into the Predator movie franchise. You have fond memories of the original Predator?
It's an amazing movie.
Yeah, great
Yes.
movie. And then quickly,
And then
Dove down.
just so terrible.
I remember watching The Predators or whatever the most recent.
That's the worst part is that they keep on trying to figure the way to do the Predator. Like it's just you're like Fast and Furious. Predator,
Yeah.
They're
The
playing with the
naming, right?
words.
Yeah.
Which ones? What are you talking about?
I don't know, the one with Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah, that's called
yeah.
The Predator.
The Predator. Yeah.
But I've also seen
Predators
in Hong Kong, and I
with,
dragged my.
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody.
But
yeah.
here's the funny thing: my cousin, she loves Adrian Brody.
Okay.
I said this is an Adrian Brody movie, and she thought it was like The Pianist.
He worked out for that film.
Yeah.
You can
But
tell.
I tricked her. I duped her.
Okay, anyway, so we're talking here about Prey.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Prey.
Yeah.
I don't think it was anything really groundbreaking or revolutionary. I think it's one of those taking the series back to its roots.
Right.
It's not really telling a very different story than the original Predator kind of thing. But it's good to see kind of it strip it back down to basics and a director understanding kind of what makes the franchise interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's about a monster hunting humans.
Right.
Alien.
How humans-
Alien.
An alien,
yeah,
a monster-looking alien hunting humans, and then they try to overcome the odds. That's it.
There was a lot of practical effects.
Oh, really?
On the movie, yeah. They it's actually the guy is in the
suit,
Predator
right?
suit
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. All that stuff, kind of even opening, it's all mechanically driven, and so I thought that was kind of neat. Like, I mean, in terms of visually, I thought it was pretty good. It was a good movie.
It's a standalone movie. I don't know what they could do with the next Prey 2.
Yes, Prayer.
Prayer. Yeah.
More.
But I mean, what could you do with it? It's standalone. It's
Yeah,
set,
I
it's
think
set
it's
in another
standalone.
century, and
It
they
is
use
very
different
standalone.
guns to fight the Predator. I
I
mean,
think it is very standard.
If anything, I think they should have released this film in theaters because it was actually a Disney Plus exclusive.
Correct.
I think that's what suffered.
I mean, your suggestion of different eras reminds me of the video game franchise Assassin's Creed, where it's basically the same thing, and it just goes through, now it's the
Right.
Egyptians, now it's the Greeks, now it's Native American, now it's French.
Yeah.
So maybe they could do that, but I don't know how interesting that could be for a movie franchise.
They do this once in a while where the franchise goes off the rails and they're like, let's bring it back and keep it simple. Rocky Balboa is another example. Then they spun out Creed out of
Creed,
that.
yeah.
So sometimes it takes off in a new direction because they do that.
Right.
I think they're still waiting for like Terminator to do that. They're waiting for some of these franchises are waiting for this.
I still can't believe you guys tricked me into watching that movie. Okay.
Okay,
Anyway, Prey, overall score for Prey.
I would say B plus.
Okay.
For me, I had some issues with it.
Yeah.
So, but overall, it was good. Keeping in mind, a lot of these actors, they were first-time actors.
Yes.
So they
and
did
actually, I think the majority of the cast were actually Native American.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comanche, I think that was
Oh, okay, yeah.
the tribe.
If this any helps at all, my wife who does not like any of these type of violent movies, she liked this movie.
Okay. So, Rob, overall grade, you've given a lot of disclaimers and preambles to justify the grade you're going to give, which is?
I will give it a B.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's okay. That didn't need that much justification. I would give it, I think overall a B plus as well. I think if I was grading it within the Predator franchise, I would give it an A minus. Like
That's right.
Like it
It doesn't have a lot of competition.
No, it really doesn't. Like, the second No, the third AVPs. I remember being so excited for AVP when it came out.
That's a
Everyone
guilty
was so
pleasure.
Is it
I
really?
like AVP. I like the lore behind it. Look, man,
The lore, but not the movie, actual movie.
the movie, like the first
The fir-
60% is pretty
and not
good.
Requiem.
Requiem's really bad. Really bad. Unfortunately, I watched that in theater as well.
I watched that. Anyway, okay, so that's our summer roundup. Different movies, different shows that we all kind of enjoyed and we're recommending to you. Have you seen any of these shows? Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about what we think. Were we right? Were we wrong? Are there other ones that you want to recommend to us? Let us know. But until next episode, that's it for this one. Keep watching things and let us know.
Yeah, and please like and subscribe to our channel so we can burst through the 100-person subscriber mark.
Chest burster. Wrong franchise. All right.